Gentlemen, let's talk honestly for a moment. There's a story that gets repeated everywhere, in movies, on social media, even in conversations between friends. It goes something like this. If you want to attract a younger woman, you need to be rich, famous, or look like you're 25 again. So what happens? Many good men, men in their 40s, 50s, even 60s, start competing with men half their age. They try to dress younger, they try to talk younger, they try to prove something, and slowly, without realizing it, they lose the one thing that actually creates attraction, their presence. Here's the truth I've seen over and over again. Younger women are not repelled by age. In fact, biologically and psychologically, many women are naturally drawn to qualities that often come with age, calmness, emotional stability, life experience, and grounded confidence. Those are powerful traits. But here's the catch. They are attracted to how a man carries his age, not the number itself. It's not the gray hair. It's not the lines on your face. It's not your birth year. What kills attraction are certain behaviors that quietly signal insecurity, small habits that communicate something very different than what you intend. They whisper to her subconscious, this man isn't comfortable with himself. And when that signal appears, attraction disappears before it even begins. Now, before we continue, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jocelyn. For the past 5 years, I've worked in the field of men's health and behavioral psychology, speaking with men navigating relationships, confidence, aging, and emotional well-being. And during those conversations, one pattern kept appearing. Many men who had every advantage, intelligence, stability, life experience, were unknowingly sabotaging their own presence, not because they lacked value, but because of 7 subtle habits. In today's video, we're going to break those habits down one by one, not with manipulation tricks, not with pickup lines, but with something much more powerful: dignity, presence, emotional strength. But before we dive in, do me a quick favor. If you appreciate honest conversations about men's psychology and personal growth, tap the like button. It helps this video reach more men who might need to hear it. And I'm curious about something. Drop a comment below and tell me where you're watching from today. I always enjoy seeing how many men from around the world are part of this conversation. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel because we talk openly about men's health, psychology, confidence, and aging with strength. Now let's start with the foundation. Before attraction begins, something important happens inside the brain, and understanding this will change the way you see everything that follows. Attraction isn't just about appearance, it's a signal, a language your nervous system sends to someone else's nervous system. When a woman interacts with a man, especially a man older than she is, her brain is asking silent questions, not out loud, not consciously, but deep in her instincts. Questions like, is he comfortable with himself? Does he feel stable? Is his confidence real? Or is he performing? You see, human beings are incredibly sensitive to emotional signals. We detect insecurity, tension, and self-doubt almost instantly, and we detect calm confidence just as quickly. Here's the interesting part. You don't create attraction by trying to impress someone. You create attraction by showing that you don't need to impress anyone. Let me explain with a simple example. Imagine 2 men meeting the same woman. The first man tries very hard. He speaks louder. He laughs harder. He tries to prove his value. The second man is relaxed. He listens. He smiles. He speaks calmly. Which one feels stronger? Almost always, it's the second. Why? Because confidence doesn't chase attention. It creates gravity, and gravity is attractive. This is where many men accidentally sabotage themselves. Instead of leaning into their maturity, they try to compete with younger men. But maturity is not something you should hide. It's something you should own. Think about the qualities people naturally trust: patience, emotional control, perspective. These are things that rarely exist at 25. They develop through experience. So the real question isn't, am I too old? The real question is, am I behaving like a man who respects himself? Because the habits we're about to discuss all come from one place, not age, but self-doubt. And once you remove that, everything changes. Let's start with the first habit, and this one is incredibly common. Habit number 1, putting her on a pedestal. Imagine meeting a woman you find very attractive. Immediately a thought appears in your mind. She's out of my league. That thought changes your behavior instantly. You start agreeing with everything she says. You laugh harder than necessary. You soften your opinions. You try not to offend her. Without realizing it, you place her on a pedestal. And when you place someone above you, you place yourself below them. Biologically, your body actually responds to this mental shift. Your stress hormones rise slightly, your voice may tighten, your posture becomes less relaxed. These subtle cues signal something important. You're seeking approval. Emotionally, this changes the dynamic. Instead of two people meeting as equals, it becomes a fan and a celebrity. But attraction thrives on equality and mutual curiosity. Practically speaking, pedestal behavior looks like over-complimenting, apologizing excessively, and avoiding disagreement. The solution? Normalize her in your mind. She is simply another human being with strengths, insecurities, and flaws like anyone else. When you treat someone as an equal, your presence changes. You become calm, grounded, real, and that authenticity is magnetic. Habit number 2, being insecure about your age. At some point, the question comes up, so how old are you? And many men hesitate. They laugh nervously. They joke, I'm ancient, or you probably don't want to know. But that reaction sends a powerful signal. When you apologize for your age, you communicate something deeper. You communicate shame. Biologically, that shame affects posture, tone of voice, and facial expression. Emotionally, it sends a message that the very thing that makes you unique, your life experience, is something you wish to hide. But here's the truth. Confidence is incredibly simple. Confidence is not apologizing for who you are. The most powerful response is the simplest. I'm 56. No joke. No explanation. Just calm acceptance. That communicates something strong. I'm comfortable with myself. And comfort with oneself is one of the most attractive traits a human being can possess. But the next habit might surprise you, because many men believe it makes them more attractive, when in reality, it quietly destroys attraction. Habit number 3, leading with money or status. It's natural to feel proud of what you've built, your career, your achievements, your lifestyle. But when those things become the centerpiece of conversation, something unexpected happens. Instead of seeing you as a person, she begins to see you as a resource. Biologically, attraction often grows through emotional connection, humor, curiosity, and shared experience. But when conversation becomes a list of accomplishments, the emotional part of the brain disconnects. Practically speaking, this looks like talking about expensive purchases, listing career achievements early, and subtly showing off. Instead, allow success to exist quietly in the background. Lead with curiosity. Ask about her experiences, her interests, her perspective. Let her discover who you are naturally. Mystery creates far more attraction than explanation. Habit number 4, acting like a mentor instead of a partner. Many experienced men fall into this trap without realizing it. They begin giving advice constantly, explaining things, correcting, teaching. While guidance can be valuable in the right moment, too much of it creates an unexpected emotional dynamic. She begins to feel like she's talking to a teacher or parent rather than a partner. Biologically, attraction requires emotional equality, a sense that both people are sharing, learning, and discovering together. Practically speaking, connection grows faster when you listen more than you lecture. Ask questions, share experiences instead of instructions, and allow space for playfulness. Wisdom becomes powerful when it appears naturally, not constantly. Habit number 5, trying too hard to look young. This one often comes from a good place. Men want to feel energetic and vibrant, but sometimes the effort becomes exaggerated. Clothing meant for teenagers, forced slang, trying to imitate youth culture. Instead of looking youthful, it creates what psychologists sometimes call an uncanny effect. Something feels slightly forced. Emotionally, it signals discomfort with one's own stage of life. But maturity, when embraced properly, is extremely attractive. The solution isn't trying to look younger. It looks refined, well-fitted clothing, good grooming, strong posture. These details communicate something powerful. I respect myself, and self-respect is always attractive. Now, the final 2 habits may be the most important of all, because they affect the energy you bring into every interaction. Habit number 6, turning conversation into a resume. Some men, especially those with long careers, accidentally turn conversations into presentations. They talk about past projects, achievements, and stories from decades ago. While those experiences are valuable, attraction rarely grows through monologues. Biologically, connection strengthens when two people feel heard. When someone feels understood, the brain releases bonding chemicals associated with trust and comfort. Practically speaking, this means shifting focus. Instead of speaking 80% of the time, try the opposite. Listen deeply, ask thoughtful questions, allow pauses. The present moment creates far more connection than a story about the past. Habit number 7, neglecting your physical presence. This has nothing to do with having a perfect body. It has everything to do with self-care, your posture, your grooming, your hygiene, your clothing. Biologically, these signals communicate vitality. A man who takes care of himself sends a subconscious message: I value my life. Emotionally, this creates respect. Practically speaking, simple improvements can transform presence dramatically. Stand straight, keep your hair neat, wear clothing that fits well, choose a subtle fragrance. These small details change how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. But habits alone are not enough. What truly changes a man's presence is something deeper, a mindset I call the Stoic Presence Protocol. Let me explain. Attraction, respect, and confidence all grow from a simple foundation: presence. And presence comes from 4 internal shifts. The first is acceptance. Look at the man in the mirror, your history, your experiences, your strengths, your imperfections. Accept them fully. When you stop fighting who you are, a remarkable calm appears. And calmness is powerful. The second is silence. Many strong men are comfortable with silence. They don't rush to fill every moment with words. They listen, they observe. And because they speak less, their words carry more weight. Silence communicates confidence without saying anything at all. The third is engagement. When you speak with someone, be fully present. Put away distractions. Look them in the eye. Respond thoughtfully. People feel when they have your full attention. And attention is one of the rarest gifts in modern life. The fourth is refinement. Choose one small improvement today: a better haircut, a tailored shirt, better posture. Small upgrades compound over time. And each improvement sends a message to yourself: I take my life seriously. Now let me leave you with something important. Many men believe their best years are behind them, but in many ways the opposite is true. Age brings something younger men cannot replicate: perspective, calmness, gravitas, a grounded sense of self. Those qualities create a presence that no trend or fashion can compete with. So instead of chasing youth, step into maturity, walk with dignity, speak with calm confidence. And remember, attraction begins the moment a man stops apologizing for who he is. If this message resonated with you, tap the like button so more men can hear it. And if you want more conversations about men's psychology, relationships, and vitality, subscribe to the channel. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Comment below and write, I am done apologizing. Because the moment you truly accept yourself is the moment your presence becomes undeniable. I'm Dr. Jocelyn. Stay grounded, stay confident, and I'll see you in the next video.